Good morning, beautiful people of the world. Good morning. It is Monday. Yes, honey, it's back to the grind, honey. Yes. It is Monday, March 9th, 2026, the day after the king's birthday, my king. Chris had a wonderful, wonderful birthday, and I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all of you that wished him a happy birthday. I am so thankful to God for you and grateful to God for you. I appreciate every last one of you all for taking the time out of your busy day, your busy schedule, to wish him a happy, blessed birthday. So many of you all wrote some beautiful comments on my videos yesterday, and I just want to say thank you. And there's a video that I did last night that I put on Facebook. I was very emotional and just, thanking and praising God for how he has blessed Christopher and I with people that love us and care about us and who have stepped in and helped me, whether it was financially or whether it was offering to pick him up or drop him off or trying to help him get into a program or just pouring into his life. I'm just so eternally grateful for you, and I cannot express how deeply and how my nose is itching. How deeply I am thankful for you. Although I know I've only been on YouTube for 3 years now, I believe 3 years. Started this channel in 2020, I think, or 2021, something like that. And I don't know how many years that's been, but most of you all that are here, a lot of you all that are here, you're new here, and some of you all have been here from the beginning. And you all have really been there for me, and you've been there for him. And every comment that you leave saying anything inspirational in regards to Christopher, I appreciate it. The advice that you all give, most of you all have been mothers and fathers a lot longer than me. Some of you all are grandmothers, great grandmothers, and so you've been around kids and you know how it goes, and you've given me some great advice, and I appreciate you so very, very, very much. There's been also negative, nasty comments that have been left here in regards to Christopher as well, which I really don't understand that, because I don't even understand the nasty, negative comments towards me, to be honest with you, because oh my God, I know these people did not live. Jesus, my Lord. Car is flipped over with the doors wide open. I pray that don't look good. That don't look like they survived that. Wow. Anyway, that was scary. Lord have mercy, people need to slow down. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Anyway, I don't even understand the negative comments towards me, really. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't know why people will come on your channel and say negative and nasty things to you, and they don't know you, and I'm just not sure about that. Don't understand it, have never understood it, don't get it. It's weird to me so many ways. You know, it's just weird to me. But nevertheless, you know, it is what it is. So he had a great birthday weekend. You know, Saturday we went to Dave and Buster's. Then we went over to the mall. He wanted another Nike Tech hoodie. I guess he's collecting them. I don't know, because he has black, green and black, all cream, and now all gray. And he wanted an all red one. Then he was like, I got so much red. I'm like, so? I was like, I got so much of everything, you know. Tried to convince him to get the red one, but he didn't want the red one. He wanted the all gray one. That Nike Tech, just the jacket, and I showed it to you all on live, was $135. I had $5 points because I've shopped at that store before. I think it's Champion something, and I used it. So with the taxes, it was like $148. I was like, Jesus. So he got that. He got some other clothes from me that I had bought him. I had bought him some new jogging pants, a new Essentials hoodie, because I found the Essentials, I found that in Burlington, and I bought him that. I bought him another red sweatshirt that I found that said NBA. I bought him a couple of things, plus the Nike Tech hoodie. So he got that for his birthday. And then friends, Metal Shrub, y'all saw the shoes. Those shoes are nice. So he has them in black and gray, or black and white. And then Metal Shrub, what are they doing right here? I'm not understanding this. Always some damn construction work. Metal Shrub sent him that. He sent him a $25 gift card for the PlayStation, and he sent him a nice jacket, like a sports jacket, like a hoodie, and it was white and I think it's white and blue. It was. I really liked it. I wish I could wear it, but he liked it, and it buttons up. He got that from Meadow. That the jacket, the gift card, and then the shoes. The shoes would have been enough. In fact, the jacket would have been enough. In fact, the $25 gift card would have been enough. You know what I'm saying? But y'all know how Meadow is. And I knew that they were shoes. So I had told him, I said, he doesn't want you to open these until your birthday. So he was like, okay. And so he was like, what you think it is? So I said, I think it's some shoes. And I was right, because I just figured that they were, but I did not think. Then I said, well, maybe not, because, you know, he had spent, you know, the money that he spent on those for Christmas. So I said, maybe not. I said, because, you know, that's an expensive gift to buy again. Well, I was right. And I didn't think they were those kind of shoes, but the way the box was made, I just kind of figured maybe it was. He was totally shocked. You know, Christopher be trying to act all cool and everything. But when I tell you he was shocked, he was shocked. He's like, I'm not going to, and you know, because my mother kicked that thing off about, you know, don't call us when you get beat up, about the other shoes that she had said that made him, you know, like she scared him, which that pissed me off, but that was then. But that's why I told him, I said, you're going to open this gift at home. I said, I don't need nobody in the background saying nothing else like last time. So we just open them up here. I'm so sick of these goddamn hoes in Chicago. I don't know what to do. I hit a huge pothole yesterday under a viaduct. I just was like, this is why this car ride rough, because the infrastructure in Chicago is horrible. But anyway, so I wanted him to open them at home, where it was just me and him. Of course, the cat was all in the way in the background meowing. She wanted some water. But other than that, I didn't want nobody in the background saying nothing. So I just told him, I said, we'll open this box at home in private, where we don't have to have the naysayers in the background, because that really, so because she said that has scared him. So he refuses to wear them to school. And he's like, and he said, you're not picking me up in the afternoon no more. I got to stand out on the corner and wait on the, meet the Uber guy. He was like, I don't need to be jacked for my shoes. So I said, okay. I said, that's fine. And I said, but ain't nobody gonna jack you. He said, well, I just don't want the, I don't want the headache, And I get it. So he said I know he's gonna wear them, but he won't wear them to school. And I think he would have been okay had she not said what she said before, but she ain't scared him now, so that's unfortunate. But anywho, he had a great weekend, and then Sunday we were gonna take him out to dinner, but I knew that my family wasn't gonna have out to dinner money, so I bought all the food, bought the pizza and the chicken, and my nephew came by before he went to work, and I really wanted to go out to dinner. I really, really did, but I just bought pizza and chicken, and we had the cheesecake. His aunt made him the cheesecake. His aunt gave him $100. His grandmother on the other side, she gave him $100. My sister sent him $75. Another girlfriend that I worked with, she sent him $75. Somebody else sent him $25. And he's got other people that from here that cash app me money for him. So he had a great day. He definitely got money. And my aunt sent him some money too. I don't know. I haven't looked into his account to see what other monies that was sent to him. But he had a great birthday. We went back to pick up the cheesecake from his aunt, and we took pictures. I'm looking at this car because yesterday the lights that came on before when I needed to tune up came on yesterday. So that's why I'm looking. And then they went off. So I don't know. But his aunt, we went over there and we got some pictures with them. And he called his other grandmother, and they talked for a while. And he got phone calls, text messages from friends. And he just had a very, very good birthday. And I am just so blessed and so thankful to God for, just being in just blessing him these past 18 years, and we made it. You know what I'm saying? And we made it. And I thank God. I just thank God. I thank God. And I thank God for you and you and you and you. And I thank God that, for the love, that has been shown to him over the years. He's just been blessed, beyond measure. And I'm grateful, because I know that it is nobody but God. I know it's nobody but him, and he has put people in my life and put people in his life, and he has made a way. Baby, he has made a way out of no way. And God just told me to trust him. And I did. And I leaned on him. And I know that it's nobody but him. His sister, had sent the $300 towards his tux or whatever she wanted to send. So he has that money. And I'm going to try to send it to him and then have it transferred over into his account. So, I just wanna say that, when you really truly put your trust in God, he will show up and he will deliver. And I know I'm a true testimony of that. The other thing one thing that angered me yesterday was, of course, the sperm donor. So when the auntie put up a post on Facebook, you can see that somebody shared it. And I knew it was him because he's done it before. He had the nerve to take her post and put it up on Facebook and wish him my happy birthday to my one and only son. But there was no phone call and no text yesterday wishing him a happy birthday. Okay? He has never said happy birthday to him. Never. Never. But yet, your fat ass, and if you're watching this, I hope you got the text message that I sent you. But his fat ass put a post up on Facebook wishing him a happy birthday, but have never wished this boy or sent this boy a card. Now, you knew his birthday was coming. So if you really wanted to say happy birthday to him, why you didn't send him a card and send it to your mother's house with some money? I don't care if it was $5. He said nothing. No card, no money, nothing. Because I know you could have sent a card to your mother or your sister and said, give this to Chris and I'll sell you all some money or cash app y'all some money and put some money in the card for him. No card. I know you can't call him and text him because he has your funky, fat ass fucking block. He don't want shit to do with you. And I'm so glad that he don't want shit to do with you. I'm so glad that he saw you for who you really the fuck were. And I knew that he would. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna let Chris see for himself just exactly what the fuck he dealing with. Just to see, so he can see what kind of asshole he dealing with. He driving slow. He driving slow. So no car, nothing, zero, nothing. But had the nerve, and it pissed me off. And I knew that he was going to do that because he's done it before. So I sent him a nice little text message. I said, you got a lot of nerve. You got a lot of nerve putting on Facebook, happy birthday to my one and only son, and you ain't never said happy birthday to him. And you didn't send him a card for this birthday. It pissed me the fuck off. It pissed me off. Do you hear me? It pissed me off. So I sent the text message and then I blocked his ass again. He probably has me blocked by now. But it's amazing to me how motherfuckers want to front for social media. But in real life, you ain't shit. You ain't shit. You ain't shit. And I said I was going to write a post on Facebook about it. I'm going to make it public so his family can send it to him. And I hope you watching this YouTube channel. You ain't shit. You ain't shit. You can front for Facebook and you can front for anybody. But Chris knows the truth, and so do I. So front all you want. You a nothing ass nigga. I said what the fuck I said. You an ignorant ass, fat ass, funky ass, low down, low class, nothing having ass motherfucker. So, that's how I feel about that. Post all you want. Your one and only son has no respect for you. Your one and only son wants nothing to do with you. Your one and only son said he will never, ever talk to you again in life. Your one and only son said you're not his father and he don't have no respect for you. Your one and only son don't even have your last goddamn name, bitch. Your one and only son has nothing, wants nothing to do with you. Your one and only son said you are fake. Your one and only son said you a liar. Your one and only son said you a motherfucking phony. Your one and only. So right next time, your one and only, because your one and only don't want to have shit to do with you, bitch. Anyway, I had to get that off my chest. Yeah. But other than that, he had a great birthday. He had a great birthday without your ass. Because for the last 18 years, he's always had a great birthday. And you've missed every one. From the time he made a year up until up yesterday when he turned 18. You are nothing ass, bitch ass, low life, nothing ass nigga. I mean, you are you at the bottom of the motherfucking barrel. I don't know how you sleep at night. I don't know how you get up in the morning and look at yourself in the mirror knowing that you've never done anything for your child. Anywho, I got to go ahead and get this key, y'all. Oh, shoot. I might be able to get in right here. Damn, what did I do with my wallet? That's the only thing about putting... I might need my key to get in here. I don't know. I'll be back, y'all. Come on, come on. Woo! Took the door off. Windy. my what you call it? My ID pass thing. I didn't have to use it. The door was open. They left that. They told them to don't leave that open, but I'll be damned. The gate is closed. What the what? Oh, he opening it now. Oh, shut up. He can't get the gate open. I ain't getting out to help him because I don't know how to get this gate open. Ugh, he gonna make folks late. And none of the doors are open for you to go around to get in. This is the guy who normally opens it. He not here. I'm not late because it's 5:37, so I'm technically not late. This car lately, I don't know, it's been like, it's like it knocks, or I don't know. This car, I'm gonna take it back to I'm gonna have to take it back. I'm gonna take it to Toyota because something ain't right. Let's see if I can get an appointment Saturday. This man cannot get this gate open. Oh, he got it. Man, he gotta do all of that. He a little too old to be pushing on that gate. I wonder why they made him come and do this. He had a time, honey. He was struggling. He was struggling. Whoa. He's a little too old to be pushing on that gate like that. I can tell you that much. That's heart attack. Okay, where am I parking at? I feel like I'm all the way over here. I should be all the way over here. The guy who normally opened the gate, he's not here. He's on vacation. So they got this other guy doing it. Surprised they didn't make the other guy work overtime, but whatever. Look in the mirror. Now let me go see if my hand work. Don't go nowhere. I'm finished talking to y'all. I'll be right back. Well, once again, hand ain't working. Oh well. Gotta do another edit. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with these machines here at this job. 1 minute it work, and next minute it won't. It just won't work. Oh well. I don't know. But anywho, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so that just angers me. That just really, really angers me. And I know most of you all saying, Cece, don't let it piss you off. You got a great kid, and this, that, and the other. But it's just the audacity. It's just a phony. You want to be phony on fucking Facebook. You want to be phony. And you want to write this whole thing like you the greatest father. You ain't never did shit for this boy. Nothing. You ain't never bought this boy a pair of socks. You never bought him a pack of diapers for his ass when he was a baby. You never bought him no shoes, no booties. You've not done nothing. You've not given him nothing. You bought things that your mother made you buy to bring to the baby shower. But you've done nothing. Haircuts, school lunches, school fees, field trips. Prom is coming up. Prom, graduation, all this money I got to spend. You ain't gonna contribute. You ain't gonna contribute. But you want to get on Facebook and flaunt. Right. Okay. Okay. Well, Christopher called his mother, the grandmother on the other side, because she sent him money. So I told him to call her to thank her. I don't talk to her, anymore. We don't have any more dealings with each other. After what happened, what transpired between us. If she called, like my birthday came, she didn't wish me a happy birthday. It's fine. You don't have to. I didn't wish her one either. But I did have him call her. If I see her, I'm gonna be, pleasant. Hey, how you doing? How's it going? But she and I used to be really close. And once she cussed at me and talked to me the way she did, I just haven't been able to get it back for her. So and the simple fact that she didn't come to me and ask me what I thought about Anthony wanting to see Christopher. I felt very disrespected. So, she was the one that was wrong. But of course, she went off on me, and I was just like, So, anywho, I just, I don't dislike her, or not over. Do I need to move over? We got another room. I feel like I'm in here crooked. I just don't have it for her anymore. Her and my mom recently talked, and they was laughing on the phone. My mother was telling me, you know, how they was talking and everything. She had called my mother had called her to wish her a happy birthday. And I'm glad that, you know, they you know, whatever, that they talk. But you know, I don't have it. I just don't. It's just no need for me and her to talk, you know. And the relationship just was, she allowed what he wanted, what he's always wanted. He's always wanted his mother to dislike me, especially after I put him out and we broke up and I had the baby. He always wanted his mother to dislike me. He always wanted his mother to go off on me and do all of that. He always wanted that. And she fell right into his hands. And it happened many, many years down the road, but that's what he always wanted. He got what he wanted. So he broke up the relationship between she and I. So she and I, we don't have nothing to do with each other anymore. And I'm okay with that. You know, I'm okay with that. You know, I always ask about her to her daughter, you know, how she doing or whatever. If she called me up, I would talk to her on the phone if she need, you know, if she needed anything. But this is the second time she did this to me, you know. So you don't get a third time, because I've never done nothing to her. I've never, when her son called my mother all out my mama's name, came up to the hospital and called my mama a bitch, and has disrespected my mother time and time and time again, I have never did that to her. So for her to pick up the phone and to go off on me, you don't get a third time. I don't care who you are. You don't get a third time. I make sure that Christopher call her on her birthday, Christmas. She doesn't call him. They don't have that type of relationship. They had a type of relationship that is just, you know, they talk on special holidays, you know, birthday, Christmas. He'll wish her Happy New Year, you know, all of that. But other than that, she don't call him to check on him, and he don't call her, because it's just not like that. But for Christmas and his birthday, she always makes sure that, you know, she has a gift for him. You know, she always makes sure that she does that most times. But you know, so I make sure that he calls her. As far as me, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I don't have nothing to say. And you know, the thing is that I'm not mad. You know what I mean? I'm not mad. But it just ain't the same. You know, it just ain't the same. We can't go back and act like it never happened. There was never an apology. You know, how you doing?
What's going on, man?
How you feeling?
I'm here.
You tired?
I'm tired of the weather.
I know, baby. I'm so sorry. Have a good day, Fred. Okay, you too. You know, there was never an apology for that. You know, it was never, I'm sorry, you know, nothing. And I didn't expect it, you know, because, you know, she didn't apologize the last time, you know, and people think that they can just say things to you and do things to you and they don't have to say they sorry or whatever. And that's just not how that works. You know, that's just not how that works. So she's never said she was sorry to me for that. And it's okay. You know, it's okay. You don't have to. She didn't have to. And I don't think she even know how. I don't even think she know how. But I think that when my mother called her the first time after it happened, I think she thought, my mother said she could tell that she was kind of like a little hesitant. Like she thought my mother was going to say something to her about what she said to me. And she said, I didn't say nothing to her, you know, about it or whatever. And, you know, I felt, I'm going to be honest, I felt some type of way that my mother called her and that they were, you know, hee-hawing, cackling, but that's the way they've always been, right? I kind of felt some type of way, because I kind of felt like, but then my mother, you know, was like kind of taking up for her, saying, you know, she got caught in the middle. She should have stayed out of it, you know, but, you know, give us some grace, you know, and whatever. But that's how my mother is. You know, my mother, it's not that my mother don't stand up for me, but there's just been times that I have felt like people that have been on the opposite of me, or people that have kind of like did me wrong, I kind of have felt like, I kind of feel like, or felt like my mother wouldn't, like, she just like continues to have relationships with them. And I'm like, I don't know. It's a weird kind of thing. I'm not saying I want them to be enemies or anything like that, but it's like, I don't know how to explain it, how to put it into words. It's just like when my uncle's ex-wife, called my mother up, telling my mother, after he hadn't been dead that long, was telling my mother about the things that my uncle had did to her or put her through in their marriage. I was pissed with my mother. You know, I was like, why would you allow her to tell you anything about him? He's dead. He's dead. And although it may be true, and we know it to be true, I just would have cut her off. But my mother allowed it. She allowed her to tell her all that junk. And it just left a bad taste in my mouth. If something happened to Anthony, and I knew his sister was grieving him for whatever reason, because his sister know all the things that he put me through, I would be there for her, because that's her brother, right? He don't mean shit to me, but he means everything to her, because that's her sibling that she grew up with. So I would never disrespect her or disregard her and say, well, you know, let me tell you what he did. And no, it's a time and a place for everything. And when people are grieving, you need to just be quiet and let people grieve. Not come in and insert your opinion or what you think they should do, or tell them all the negative shit about that person. I'm not saying that it's not true, but it's a time and a place for everything. And when people are grieving, and when something like my uncle's death, it was such a horrific thing, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear about what he did to you, because that's between you and him. That's man and woman stuff that I was not privy to, because I wasn't there in your marriage. So why do I need to know about what he did to you? He might have been the most horrible husband to you. Granted, he might have been. But I don't, right now, I'm grieving my loss. Not wanting to hear what you got to say. So that's how I, and so, it's all about respect. It's all about, it's all about respect, and it's all about you stepping back and staying in your place. And so many people don't know how to stay in their lane. So many people don't know how to stay in their place, which I find just crazy to me. But they don't. They don't. And so, so like I said, there's been times, that I just feel like, my mother, and I don't know if it's age, I don't know what it is, or whatever, but I just kind of just felt like, not saying she should have, she should fall out with her, nothing like that, but it's like, have my back a little bit and kind of, I don't know how to put it into words. I don't know how to explain it. But I just feel like, like my mother just kind of like brushed it under the rug about what she did and what she said to me. Because it really hurt my feelings, to be honest with you. And when she cussed at me and kind of went off on me, I wasn't disrespectful. And I was not. What I said to her was, I said, oh, I'm fucking crazy. I said, really? That's what I said to her. I said, oh, okay. And then she said, get the fuck off my phone. I said, no problem, bet. Click. And this was all due to her inserting herself into this bullshit, knowing that Anthony wasn't going to do a goddamn thing. And then turning around, and I call her to tell her what's happening, and she go off on me. She didn't ask me, well, what happened with this or what happened with that? Did you say, and did Christopher say, and then kind of even said some shit about Christopher that I didn't appreciate, and I just ain't got past it. That's all. I'm not mad at her or nothing like that. I don't have the same feeling for her anymore. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. And so my mother, is trying to, I guess stay neutral with her and not, but I'm like, why? You know what I'm saying? Why? Her son has called you all kinds of bitches. But you on the phone with her, hee-hawing and cackling like ain't nothing happened. So my mother recently just told me that she called, that they were on the phone last week and they talked. She's like, and I didn't mention nothing. We didn't mention nothing about, Anthony and Chris talking and they having their falling out or whatever. We didn't even bring it up. Just like she talked to her after she had went off on me. And she said when she called her, she could tell that she was a little resistant. And then when she realized that my mother wasn't calling her about that, then she got okay. So it's a real tricky type of a thing. But I don't know. And I guess it's kind of like the same thing about my classmate who was doing my mother's hair, right? She was kind of, my mother stopped going to her because some kind of way my mother and her got the appointments mixed up or something. She had booked my mother for the appointment, but she went out of town and she forgot. So my mother called her to confirm or whatever the case may be. She got nasty with my mother. I've never said nothing to the classmate about it because my mother said, I'm just going to stop going to her. Don't say nothing to her about it. But I did kind of let the classmate know, bitch, I'll kick your ass. She know me. right? So, my mother said, don't say nothing. So it's kind of like the same thing. I'm not friends with this girl, but her son and Christopher are around the same age. He's already, I think he's might be a year or two ahead of Chris, but they kind of favor. So recently she sent Christopher $50. And it's like she's tried to make up for what she did to my mother, but through me. But you can't make up for what you did to my mother through me. You're gonna see my mother, and you need to apologize to my mother. So I kind of fell out with her because of that, because it's like, you were wrong. But I know what type of person this classmate is. And my mother was going to get her hair done by her a long time. She's a loctician. She retwists my mother's hair. And because she's gotten smart with me, and I had to check her ass, you know. So I know what type of person that she is, how she can be. But my mother would pay her all the time and gave her nice tips. And I just felt like she should have had she should have had more respect for my mother. My mother's an older woman. My mother's never did nothing to you. You know, always tipped you, always paid you, you know, and then you come talking to her like that, you know. So it's kind of like on that same thing. It's like you're not falling out completely with the person because of what the other person did to your family member. But at the same time, I just feel like by nobody bringing it up, you know, it's like we're gonna just act like this didn't happen. You know, we just gonna act like you didn't do this, which we know you did it, but we're gonna act like it didn't happen. But for me, it did happen, you know. And I've talked to her since it has happened. She I think she called and wished me a happy new year. And then and I said happy new year to her back. And I think she said something to me on Mother's Day. She wanted to talk to me. Christopher had called her to wish her happy Mother's Day. And she asked Chris to put me on the phone. Because the Mother's Day before that, she called me and told me she had made me a Mother's Day basket. And she made one for me and my mother. And that's how it all kicked off about, you know, she brought up that he was going to be here in June and he wanted to see Chris. And that's how it all kicked off, you know, when I went to go get the basket. And I felt like she should have come to me. He was 16 at that time, or 17. Is he 16? I don't know. But I just felt like she should have come to me and said to me, this is what he wants to do. What do you think? And she didn't. Instead, she said it to Chris and put him on the spot and made him feel real uncomfortable. And I thought that was really wrong. And so then when it didn't happen, you know, and everything blew up, I called her to tell her about it. And he had already called her and told her his side of the story. And of course, he left out major stuff in the story, of course, because that's the kind of narcissist behavior he does. So she listened to him and she believed him. And I don't know why she believed him, because time and time again, he's proven, time and time again, you know, he's proven who he is. So, but she wanted to believe him for whatever her reason was, okay? I don't know what it was. I don't know. But she wanted to believe him. And I think she, you know, felt some type of way that she had gotten involved with it, and then it didn't happen. And then she was looking kind of like, you know, man, I ain't got myself in something that I didn't have to get, you know, I didn't have to get myself in, and he didn't do what he was supposed to do. Now I'm looking stupid, or, you know, whatever. And I think that's how she felt. So she felt that, and instead of her just dealing with that, she took the shit out on me. So that's how that went. And you know. And that was that. So, you know. I need to move over. I'm way over. That's why he was struggling to get in here. But, you know, people don't want to deal with, they don't want to admit that they were wrong. And they don't want to say, you know what, I was wrong. I should have stayed out of it, or whatever the case may be. You know, they don't want to do that. You know, they don't want to take responsibility for their part in stuff. You know, so instead, they just rather act like, you know, I'm just not going to say nothing to her. Okay, fine. That's how you want to do it, fine. So, like I said, I don't hate her. But I don't want to have nothing to do with her like that no more. And I've never disrespected her. You know, not like he has. Not like he has done my mother. He walked out of the room in the hospital after coming up there to see Christopher after I have given birth. And I didn't tell them to tell him to come up there. They ran up there after I had given birth to see him, to see the baby, because they wanted to see if that was really his baby. And he looked just like him. Looked just like him. And they called him up and said, Sherelle had the baby, and that baby looked just like you. That's your baby. That is definitely your baby. And then here he come. And then she told me in the hospital, girl, I was so groggy. She told me that she said, Anthony wants to come up here and see the baby. And I looked real funny, and I don't remember. I was like, yeah, okay. I think I said okay or something like that. But I had a C-section. I was in pain. They had got me up out the bed. They made me sit in a chair. I was having a reaction from the anesthesia medicine that they had given me. I was having an allergic reaction. I was itching all over. They had to give me some Benadryl. I'm holding Chris, you know, and I'm in pain. You know, I'm in pain. And so I don't know. I said, oh, okay. And here he come. And he comes into the it was my mom, because I had a private room. It was my mom and Cherie in there. And Cherie was holding the baby. And I was sitting in a chair, because they had made me sit up. And I had a C-section. So any of you women on here that had C-sections, you all know how painful that is after you had C-section. That's major. So you guys, my video cut off because I don't have enough storage in this phone. So I'm going to say goodbye. I'll finish telling you all, you know, about whatever I was talking about. I think I was talking about having a C-section or something like that. I don't remember what I was saying. But anywho, let me clear up a lot of this storage so I'll be able to record on here tomorrow. Okay? All right. So you all have a great, blessed day. I plan to come on live later on tonight. Depends on how I feel, child. Okay? All right. Have a great day. I'll see you real soon. God bless you. Peace.